Welcome to Scorched Earth. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. If you don't know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, have a look in the description box below. There's a link down there that will help you. Thank you as ever for your subscribes, your comments, your likes, your donations, everything, your messages. As ever, they are deeply appreciated. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you find something here for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, then you just know that I love you. I'm sure. Oh, right, I think that's enough shuffling. So, my fellow Leos, let's have a look, see what's coming up for you in February. We've got a Mercury retrograde coming up, by the way, but don't panic about it. Just don't start anything new, particularly. You know, the retrograde allows us to deal with past situations that haven't been put to rest properly. So just use it as an opportunity for that and don't panic about it too much. It'll all be fine. And I mean, it's not in Scorpio this time, so it can't be nearly as bad as that anyway. No shade on Scorpios. It's just a bit intense. So, I have 3 cards for Leo, please. Whoa. I'm going to take those 2 together, actually, because they kind of came out together. I was like, well, I wasn't even shuffling and that second one flew out. Never mind. Another card for Leo, please. Another card for Leo for February. Oh, no. What? Okay. What's coming up for Leo? 2 of Wands. Right, that's really interesting. I think for the first time since I've ever done a Leo reading, I haven't got a major arcana card down on the table. It's really interesting. So on the bottom of the deck, we've got the 6 of Pentacles. That talks about bringing balance to situations. And we have the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Wands in the recent past position. The 9 of Swords, present. And the 2 of Wands in the kind of near future position. I'm going to get some clarifiers. I'm not actually too worried about these cards. It'll be fine. So, please tell me more about the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Justice card. The stog in everybody. Let's see. Maybe it's not even this deck that I want to use. It's not this deck that I want to use. Which deck shall I use? Bear with me a second. We'll use this one. I haven't used this one in a while. It's the Tarot Mucha. So, there's the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Wands here, please. That's too many. I knew that card was coming out. Oh, fucking hell. I've got the Knight of Wands and Judgment. I was just sitting here thinking, I wonder if Judgment's going to come out, and there it is. Right, why is the 9 of Swords here? What the fuck? Like, Okay, I'm going to take all of those, even though there's 3 of them, since they seem to be splurging out, but they do kind of make sense. So, and 2 of Wands. Where's the 2 of Wands here, please? Where's the 2 of Wands here, please? Apparently you're too important to have just one card come out. On the bottom of this deck we've got the Chariot. Right, I'm not worrying about this reading at all. It's actually incredibly positive and it didn't look like it to start with, but it is, so yay. The first 2 cards that you've got were the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Okay, they're both really difficult cards. This one talks about heartbreak. You know, it talks about grief. It talks about being stabbed in the back. Sometimes it talks about third-party situations. But whatever it is, it's great and deep sadness right there. Right? And the 10 of Wands is a card of burden. It's a card of things being too hard. But this is where the magic happens. It's in the past position. If you notice on this one, the 3 of Swords usually, it's just a big red heart with a grey, like rainy scene behind it. 3 really sharp swords just spearing it, right? It's visceral. It's a really good depiction of how it feels when you have your heart broken. It's, you know, it's awful. But these 3 swords, they're in the ground, right? They're not in a heart. And this girl's sat with them, right? With them in the stone. There's quite an aged look to this scene, right? This heartbreak isn't new. This heartbreak is something that you've been sat with for quite a long time, right? And it's been a burden, right? It's not so fresh that you feel like you're bleeding out anymore. It's just something that's been low level, sitting with you for quite a long time. But the 10 is the end of a cycle, right? It's you realising that it's too hard carrying this any longer and getting ready to walk away from it, because she can. When she's ready, she will just pick herself up and walk away. Now, the 2 cards that came out underneath that were the Knight of Cups and Judgment. And the reason that I thought the Judgment card would come up was because a lot of Leo's readings towards the end of last year were talking about somebody coming back, somebody who had broken your heart, right? And then I think at the end of December, beginning of January, I can't remember quite which one it was, there was certainly some Leos for whom this person had not returned, right? The Knight of Cups is someone bringing offers of love to you, right? I really like this card very much because it's a bit of a trial of substance, style over substance. I mean, look at that horse. It's not very practical. It's very showy, it's very flashy, but ultimately at the end of the day, you know what? What's he bringing? He's bringing this cup. Yeah. Look at this cup that I've got for you. Just kind of making sure that everybody can see this cup that he's got. Yes, style, no substance. And the Judgment card is a card of coming back, right? I think for some of my Leos that this person fucked their last chance to come back. I think that's what it is. I think that a lot of Leos were waiting, still nursing their broken heart, right? And this person didn't return. And I think that you're ready to shake it all off now. Maybe for some other groups of Leos, the person did return and actually nothing changed. The broken heart didn't get fixed and it was still too hard. Take it as it resonates to you. But certainly, if you were one of the Leos who was waiting for this person to come back and they didn't, their last chance has been and gone now. So we move on to the present. We've got the Nine of Swords, right? And I was initially a little bit upset when I saw this, but I'm not now. Because the Nine of Swords it's a difficult card. Look, it's insomnia and it's depression and it's grief and it's all those kind of things. Yeah, it's 9 swords. It's almost a 10, but it's not quite. The thing with the Nine of Swords is, right, generally speaking, swords down, such as in here, is bad. That's lies and deception and hurt and heartbreak and all that kind of thing. Swords up are positive. It's truth, it's integrity, it's honour, it's all of those cool things. Good communication. Well, these swords are neutral, right? And I feel like rather than you being stuck in your head and depressed and all that kind of thing, I feel like you're working through it at the moment. I think that there's some really, really good internal work going on, and it might be keeping you awake a little bit at night, but it's not hurting you in the same way that it used to. I think you're seeing the situation clearly for the first time in a very long time, and that's why these swords are neutral, because they can't actually hurt you anymore. But you do need to contemplate them. You do need to put them in the right place before you can move on, because underneath what came out was the Five of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. And this is really interesting, because the Five of Cups is another card of grieving and loss. Right? You've got someone who looks very upset, who's staring at these 3 cups that are knocked over and not looking at the 2 that are behind. And I feel like, actually, rather than that being what's going on here, I feel like you're in the process of processing this situation. You're acknowledging that there are other cups, but you're also acknowledging that there are cups that have been knocked over, and you're processing all of this information. You're putting it in the right place in your head and the right place in your heart, understanding it so that you can move on. And the way that you're choosing to move on at the moment is with your work, it's with your coin, it's with your money. You know, I don't think that you have time at the moment. Sorry, I'm smirking. I'll tell you why I'm smirking in a second. You're not interested in love and relationships at the moment. You've got money to make, you've got new ideas, you know, maybe you've got new revenue streams that you're looking at. You know, whatever it is, you're taking the energy of the King of Pentacles and you're going out and you're making that money, really focusing on it, which is positive, you know, because in the background you're processing all of the other stuff, the emotional stuff, but you're not letting it get you down. You're not wallowing in it. Picked something to move forward with, and you're doing it. And then we come to the Two of Wands. Now, I really like this depiction of the Two of Wands, because in a standard deck, it's a chap and he's looking at a globe. He's looking at the world. He's literally got the world in his hands. This is a woman and she's holding a crystal ball, and I really like that. Because the Two of Wands is like a crossroads, right? If the Ace is the spark of inspiration about doing something that you're passionate about, then the 2 is the point where you decide how you're going to make it work. You know, it's the logistics phase. But it's a sense of there being 2 different directions to go off in. And the Three of Wands is where you then expand. You know, that's the expansion. It's bringing it into the 3D. At the moment, this is all still very much in here. You know, you're at a crossroads. And it's almost like using the crystal ball to try and see each potential direction through to its logical conclusion, see where it ends, and see if you like where it's going. The first card you had to clarify is the Ace of Cups. Now, this can be new love, right? It can be a new person coming along, but it can also be a renewal of love, and it doesn't have to be for another person. It can be for yourself. You It can be for a thing. This could absolutely be a new sense of self-love, an appreciation for everything that you've been through and what your value now is. And it's coupled with the Ten of Wands, but this time the Ten of Wands has come out in reverse. It's really interesting. This exactly the same happened with Aries as well, and it was with different decks. It came out in the upright in the past and then in the reverse in the future. Like, whatever it was that was too hard before, you're letting it go. You've put it all down. And there's a sense that it's potentially because you now understand your own worth. You have this new love of yourself, and you're not going to allow yourself to be burdened by anyone else in future. I think that's a possibility. But at this point, I'm going to bring in the other card, because there are other ways that this could go, and it's the King of Wands, right? Now, there are several different ways of reading this, because obviously the King of Wands is Leo. Like, it doesn't matter that it's a king, could be a woman, right? So we've got these three cards here. Love, or a renewal of love, right there, for someone, something, yourself. We've got it not being a burden anymore, putting down what was hard, and it now becoming easy. And then we have this King of Wands here. Now, strictly, it's Leo, so it could be you, right? This could be you moving forwards, directing yourself, right? With an appreciation of yourself, knowing what you want, going after it, right? Because we've got two kings on the table now. And it just being easy, because you're not subject to other people. You're not sitting around and waiting, which is not a good thing for a Leo to do anyway. Like, we don't do that. Straighten up your crown and all that. But it's possible that it could be another fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's possible that there is a fire sign in your environment with whom things are easy, that there is love. And maybe coming up in February is the point at which you start looking at your future with this person. Equally, if it's you, looking at how you move forward with yourself in your own future. Because at the bottom of the deck there, we've got the Chariot. And the shadow card on this one was about balancing things out. Again, I think you've been sat around waiting for too long for somebody else. And now, either in some sort of big cosmic prank, the universe is sending you someone that actually is pretty good for you. That's a possibility. Or it's just a case of you've stopped waiting, you've done everything that you needed to do, you've done your internal work, you've focused on your material stuff, getting your money in, all that kind of thing. And now you move forwards really strongly in your own power. Let's have a look. Another card. One more card, please. You'll have to take this as it resonates to you, okay? But the three cards that have come out here are the Six of Wands, the Star, and the Six of Cups. Now, if I had to put money on it, I would say that this old King of Wands here potentially is an Aries, Leo, Sagittarian soulmate who is coming to you as a prize for passing a test. That's how it feels. It feels like this has all been a test. This is, if this is you regaining a sense of your own self-worth and learning to love yourself properly, then you've raised your vibration, right? And that's really, really important. things that were hard are now becoming easy, and you can move forwards in your power, you know. But whichever way around it is, we've got the Six of Wands. It's conspicuous public victory right there. Like, that is winning. That is Leo winning right there. We've got the Star, which is the wish card. It's wish fulfillment, you know, whatever it is that you've prayed for really, really hard, it's coming. Maybe this is somebody else's wish. Maybe you are someone else's wish. That's possible too. It's also the card of Aquarius, and there may be an Aquarius somewhere in the mix. But we can't really shake this soulmate card right here. This makes me lean towards it being somebody else. But take it as it resonates to you. Gone from something really, really dark to something incredibly positive, and I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. I don't think I need to pull any more cards. But in February, you're going to be looking very determinedly towards the future. Like, there's going to be no more, you know, head in hands, staring at the inside of your head. There's no more staring at the floor, you know, being wounded and being hurt. There's really a strong sense of looking forward to the future. With either yourself, well, definitely with you in a strongly empowered situation and energy right there, but potentially with someone else. Either way, February's looking pretty rosy, and I like it for you. So I'm going to leave it there. As ever, if you resonated with the video, I'd love it if you would like or subscribe or do those things. Certainly leave a comment or something like that, because I always love to read those. But other than that, I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the mid-month. Take care, Leo.